Alright guys, TouchGrabber back again today. Haven't enjoyed your Saturday so far, and well, Championship Sunday at the Call of Duty World Championships just concluded. Only two teams remain, that being Dallas Empire and the Atlanta FaZe. Lots of great matches today, lots of great storylines. Honestly, I thought the production value was phenomenal. All of the stuff they were doing, from I suppose the transitions, the graphics, the kind of inter-series content that they were putting on screen was all fantastic. It was a joy to watch, to be honest, and the series as well, and some of the some of the maps especially were absolutely phenomenal. We've got a great matchup upcoming tomorrow, of course, in the grand finals. We've got to talk about some of the phenomenal matches that happened over the last few hours here. Before we get into the very first matchup, just wanted to throw this from Robbie B, saying that they had this 2v2 gunfight with Sensor and Aches casting it. Was honestly really well done, I thought, to be honest, but the winners of that got twice the value of, well, cash, I suppose, that the winners of the Challenger scene got, so thought that was pretty remarkable. But honestly, fair play to Doug and Aches. I thought they did a really, really good job on that one. We also had this discussion about Formal and his webcam. I mean, apparently TJ saying that the CDL ref told me to put my cam on or we forfeit first map, no BS. So you know, TJ kind of implying that special treatment was being given to the Huntsman guys, and Mudog says we had to get written permission so Slasher could wear his hat, but you know, it seems to be okay for Formal not to have his camera on. Not exactly sure on that topic, not of course particularly relevant anymore. Series 1 of the day, London Royal Ravens versus the Chicago Huntsmen. First two maps were on Ramada, and I found this kind of surprising that Huntsman has not necessarily let this through the cracks, but you know, they allowed it to go to Ramada twice up, and it works out for them in the end, and they come out 1-1 of these first couple of maps, but definitely not ideal, I think, to be facing London Royal Ravens, especially the likes of Shawnee on Ramada on that Search and Destroy. They do win it. Map number 1 does not go in their favour, but they do end up winning the domination on the Gunrunner. Pretty comfortable, to be honest, 160-145. I mean, Royal Ravens cannot win a domination to save their life. Then it goes to a hardpoints in Petrograd, which is a very, very good map for the Chicago Huntsmen, and they close it out in a 3-1 fashion. Scump and Formal T2P absolutely frying in this series. 1.28 for Scump, 1.32 for Formal. These two were coming alive in this series, and once again in a crucial series, I mean, you know, the Royal Ravens slaying just absolutely disappeared, to be honest. So it wasn't great to see from them, but Chicago have had their number all year long, to be honest, and Huntsmen win the series 250-166 in that game 4. Comfortable closeout for them, and well, it was very much a back and forth series early on, but in that game 4, Huntsmen get the job done when it mattered. Just wanted to mention this as well, because you know, the Ravens guys, I think they were 0-10 now against like the top 4 teams or something, or against the teams that they played at the World Championship weekend here, against Atlanta FaZe, against Dallas Empire, against Chicago Huntsmen. They have not won a series against those 3 teams all season. So once again, the Ravens get a decent amount, but when it comes to playing the big squads, they just fall short. Who knows if that will change going forwards. They finished 4th place, $450,000. Not too bad at the end of the day, but not quite the championship match. We then, of course, went to the winners finals, that being Dallas Empire, Atlanta FaZe, and what a series this turned out to be. Oh my word, it seemed to me these were the 2 best teams in the game, locking horns, and well, what an absolute barn burner this was. Game 1 was 250-230 in favour of the Dallas Empire, and once again a phenomenal map. I mean, really interesting to see from Dallas the way that Shotzzy was pulling out the growl on that P5, especially some of their rotations were super early, and well, confident in their ability to hold those hard points. They end up getting a really interesting situation where FaZe almost could have won it off the first hill, but a couple of smokes later, they do manage to get the better of them. And I mean, Crimsix, like I talked about coming into this weekend, really how I expect Clayster and Crimsix to step up in the big moments. Crim goes something like 38 in 25 this map. Phenomenal map from him. And then Clayster later in the series getting the job done when it mattered. FaZe bounced back in the Search and Destroy though, and then they win the domination. But the hardpoint Gunrunner, what a clutch from the Dallas Empire, especially over at that P2. Some of the rotations they were pulling off were honestly masterful at times. They just about closed it out. I mean, FaZe are so fast paced, almost looked like they were going to get it and contest. But Dallas Empire just about got over the line. And then it goes to a game 5, Search and Destroy Ramada, a map where FaZe beat Chicago Huntsmen on last weekend in a 3-2 fashion when they did win that series. This time, Dallas Empire get the better of them at 6-3 in this one. And well, honestly, Clayster had some absolutely phenomenal moments in this one, especially this wallbang early on, which was very impressive indeed. Arcetes was also saying that he did the same thing to Dylan earlier on in the tournament. I mean, that matchup earlier today, Clayster clearly had this one practiced and ready to go, and another couple of massive moments from him, like the gunfighty one on Priester down low, also the roundy one where he absolutely world-starred Simp off the top rope. I mean, that was just some phenomenal performances from Clayster, and once again, when the, I suppose, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, as he would say to himself, he does it here. They win it 6-3. Difficult to take down Atlanta FaZe in the game 5, and Dallas Empire do it, setting themselves up nicely for success in this one, and all the players coming to play when it mattered most. Dallas have the advantage. Post Malone then, of course, investing in the Dallas Empire yesterday. If you guys didn't see that, gonna have a video discussing that in a few days' time as well. Let's go, boys, at the Dallas Empire. So that's pretty crazy to see. They also announced the team of the year, so Octane manages to get in here, but Simp, Envoy, Shotzzy, and Arcetes, pretty good preview, I suppose, given we were going to get a number of these players in the matchup that was taking place just next, that being the losers finals. Dallas Empire go on to the grand finals. Atlanta FaZe, Chicago Huntsmen have to battle it out for that second place in the grand finals. This was the series then. I mean, FaZe and Huntsmen come into this one being tied. They only played twice this entire season and win. It was a storyline pretty much the entire season long. When are these guys going to play? They finally played in the New York home series where Chicago won. FaZe got the better of them at Champs earlier on, and they get the better of them at Just again. But game number 1, 251-66. Hardpoint was closed out pretty much comfortably by the Huntsmen. But game 2 was honestly crazy, and FaZe once again making some pretty uncharacteristic search and destroy mistakes from them. I mean, the formal 1 versus 3, I mean, kind of 1 versus 2, but kind of 1 versus 3 really at the same time. The trade was almost instant, one that they lost. I mean, Arcetes with the 1v2, you know, Simp didn't really need to chell. aBeZy kind of jumps out the window for no reason. Miscommunication again. They lose another 1v2 to Arcetes. We saw that when they first played them at New York. I think Arcetes clutched a nice little 1v2 on some Petrograd as well. Once again, FaZe throw it away, but in the final round, the round 11, a round where Chicago Huntsmen are typically so good and it would have been a massive round for them to win, FaZe clutch up just about. I think Huntsmen were 10-2 going into this in round 11s. FaZe win this one though and take that momentum into the domination on Gunrunner, winning that one 168-147, and this is where the bodies started to get shot. Simp went on a streak, he was killing everything, and he started to shoot, I forget who it was initially, but I think Pristini's body, then he killed Scump in the bathrooms and shot his body as well. I mean, typically in Call of Duty, a sign of disrespect, a sign that, you know, you don't really think your opponents are that high value, I suppose. And to be honest, it's pretty baller, because at the same time, usually when people shoot bodies, they end up choking, or like it comes back to bite them or something. We've seen that a number of times, and that's the last thing you want to happen. Shows a pretty high degree of self-confidence that you can confidently go and shoot bodies of some of the best players of all time, and yeah, former world champions, of course. And in the case of Pristini, former teammate and reigning world champion alongside alongside Simp, to do that is, you know, pretty baller, right? So fair play, I suppose, but I'm sure you guys are going to have different opinions in the comment section below on this one. And then FaZe close it out. I mean, what a map for here on Hardpoints and Petrograd. This is a map where Chicago are typically so good. Pristini started off 7-0. I think FaZe didn't get a kill for the first minute. They were like 0-12, 0-13 combined. They well, certainly the momentum. It looked like Simp was going to come back to bite the right with those shooting bodies. Looked like they were not going to get the job done. However, they somehow come alive over at that P2. They win the rotation to Cafe, or they don't even win the rotation. They just brute force their way into Cafe, and then the rest of the game is very, very back and forth indeed. Good pull hold for a Huntsman on that second rotation, but when it comes back to that P5, I mean, Cellium just went massive at the end, like a 7 streak or something from him. He went absolutely off, and you know, we talk about the Iceman, right? Is it accuracy? Is it TJ? Cellium definitely deserves a mention. In Search and Destroy, in clutch moments like this, he may not have had the best start to the map, but when it really comes down to crunch time, Cellium is the one to keep your eyes on. He does it again here, and they win the rotations. FaZe just about hold on, 250-239, knocking Chicago Huntsmen out of the tournament in the top 3 place. That's Scump now with back-to-back top 3s at Champs. Won it on the Infinite Warfare days, of course, and now back-to-back top 3s on the Opta Gaming squad last year, and now on the Chicago Huntsmen team this year. So they just about fall short. I do believe that FaZe and Dallas were the better teams than Huntsmen here, but certainly this could have been a winner for Huntsmen in this one. I mean, if it goes game 5, who knows what happens, but I suppose when this did happen earlier on in the tournament, FaZe did win that one as well in the game 5. So honestly, remarkable series. A number of these maps were absolutely out of control, and just so fun to watch, and it sets us up, to be honest, for a fantastic final day. Also to talk about the viewership, right, because Chicago versus Atlanta, we've seen some great viewership numbers in previous Call of Duty games, especially at the World Championship. There's some other things to talk about here, the fact that you can watch on a number of different streams, and you know, there's benefits and stuff to be watched that we haven't necessarily had in the past, but 210,000 viewers after this game 2, maybe it even was even more than map 4. I wasn't exactly paying too much attention because this is combined, I think, from a number of different streams that are all streaming the games, but yeah, 210,000 viewers. I mean, I remember back in World War II Champs, I think that peaked at about 170,000, similar numbers really in previous Champs to that, so 210k is pretty impressive stuff, and well, cool to see Call of Duty thriving in an online tournament, right, with no one in an actual stadium, so pretty good to see, but not pretty good, of course, if you are a Chicago Huntsmen fan. As Formal says, such a winnable series, man, that is going to sting. Really thought we were about to make this run. We had some special moments this tournament, and we were tested numerous times. We finished 3rd at COD Champs, and I truly appreciate appreciate all the support. It means the world to us. Who knows what happens going forward with that squad? I mean, Simba's talking about some of the replies. I mean, like, you had a lot of respect for you, but you can't body shoot in a loser's final. You're not playing amateurs. Little fun. Saw your face after the first hard point. Didn't seem like fun to anyone. Lost respect for you, man. Shoot 2 bodies and the cavalry is on me. Comes out with Simp. And, you know, in the post-match interview, it was kind of like, yeah, being humble and, you know, not exactly being too excited over this victory. Because, of course, for a guy who is a reigning World Championship MVP, second place is nothing, right? And he wants to go back and get that victory against the Dallas Empire tomorrow. This, then, is what is going to happen. Huntsmen fall out of the tournament. I think they pocket $600,000 between them. So, Pristini, Arcides couldn't quite get the back-to-back. Scumpered Football, TGP, and Dylan Envoy, after such a fantastic tournament for a number of these guys, just came up against a stronger team, to be honest, on the day, I do believe, in Atlanta FaZe. And that is going to be an exciting prospect tomorrow. It's going to be a best of 9. The way it works is the Dallas Empire will come in with a 1-0 advantage, and then they will play up to 8 maps. And after 8 maps, a winner will be determined. It goes hardpoint, search and destroy, domination, hardpoint, search and destroy, like a normal best of 5. But then we throw in another domination, another hardpoint, and another search and destroy. So 2 doms, 3 hardpoints, and 3 search and destroys if it goes the distance to the game 9. But the Dallas Empire will come in with a 1-0 advantage, and I believe with the seeding advantage as well for vetoes in this series, which could be a big deal. Intrigued to hear your thoughts down below as always. What a day of action. Huntsman just falls short, but yeah, storylines galore. We didn't quite get the Scump versus Crimsix like reunion matchup right at the end of the event, which I think would have been probably better for storylines, and I can't imagine what the viewership would have been like for that one. But sometimes the storylines just aren't meant to come through. I'll have another video tomorrow morning discussing the matchup tomorrow in greater detail, and also some other things that I may have missed in this video throughout the day. Thank you for watching as always. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time.